Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cochran Firm and Boston Scientific, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! It's game day, baby. It's been a minute since we did a game day morning show, but we are here. Going to talk about three keys to victory. We'll jump into the film room with it, and then in the roundup, we're going to go around the league a little bit. We're going to talk about some of those games yesterday. It was an entertaining day of football. We'll revisit the NFC East, see what's going on there, and then we'll take a look at the injury report heading into tonight's game. We got a couple new names on the Cowboys injury report that we hope isn't too serious, but we'll discuss all of that and more this morning. Salute to y'all for being here in the building this early. Bomb Squad! Man, listen, I don't like primetime games. You guys know that about me. I said that to you a million times. But Monday Night Football, I don't mind as a creator, as this being my full-time job, because Sunday you can just kick back and relax and watch every other team whoop on each other and not have to deal with all of the drama, the Cowboys doing some crazy things to you as a fan. So I was chilling yesterday. I had a good time just watching football. It was a lot of craziness going on in these games, man. But shout out to y'all. See my bro Lee in the building. Special K, Swain, Dallas Cowboys hard hitter. David J, Tom Nuts, and C Next Professor O, Tariq, I see ya. Samuel Rowe, Dak, not done yet. Ghostface, Thriller, Shaq, Edwards, Captain America. Oh, does it, sir? Marcelo B, Mark Smith. A lot of you guys are in here. I appreciate that. And today, again, let me just say this for a second. We're going to get to these keys. We're going to get to the roundup. And after that, I'll open the phone lines up. I promise you, I open the phone lines up. 351-999-3787 is the phone lines. But we ain't going to be here all morning. I got to get ready after the show, and we got to head on down to Texas Live and get ready for tonight. So make sure y'all get in where y'all can fit in. In fact, let me make sure I got these lines open. What am I talking about here? What are we doing? They're not open. Now we are good. All right, Cowboys Nation, let's go ahead and hit this roundup, and then we'll come out of that, and we'll talk about these keys to victory, man. Let's do it.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! Time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Hey. Yo. Somebody asked me, what time will I take my grandpa nap? Watch it. Yo, let's go around the league right quick, though. The butt punt. Listen, I think the butt punt should be top 10 greatest football follies of all time. I used to watch that, the football follies on NFL Network. I don't know if they still do that stuff anymore. Who knows? But yo, I've never seen anything like it. You watch this game for decades, for your whole life, and you think you've seen everything until you haven't seen everything. The Miami Dolphins, if you missed it, were backed up into their own end zone, which we'll get to why they were backed up into their own end zone in a second. And they were trying to punt it to get out to close this game off defensively. And it hit the player in the ass for a safety. Thank goodness it was a safety because it could have easily been a touchdown. But, bruh.
What?
How does that happen? Top 10 football follies of all time, period. Brady versus Rodgers yesterday came down to a 2-point conversion. It was an ugly game all around. I remember watching the fantasy stuff in the morning. They were like, "Hey man, I'm gonna say something for the first time I've ever said it in my fantasy football history. Bench both Brady and Rodgers," and they weren't really lying in that situation. Score came down to 14-12, and while it was an ugly game all around, and I understand given the circumstances for the Bucks, it eventually ended the way we thought it would, right? Brady or Rodgers having a chance to go down and win the game or tie the game. And that's what happened. Tom Brady got the rock back, drove down, scored a touchdown, and then they needed to convert a 2-point conversion, and they missed it, losing the game 14-12. It was an ugly game. That wasn't a fun game to watch, but anytime you get two greats like Brady and Rodgers together, you gotta peek in, right? There were some other better games than that. What else? We got the division foes who played each other yesterday, the Washington football people and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles just whooped on the football people, 24-8, and I don't even think it was that close, right? They sacked Carson Wentz 9 times, held him to 4.9 yards per attempt. Jalen Hurts had another fantastic game, 3 touchdowns overall, over 300 yards total. They're rolling. It kind of reminds me, and I'm not trying to be like that because that's a good team right now. But it reminds me of the 3-0 start the Cowboys had in 2019. Didn't play a lot of good teams. We were definitely high. I'm one of them. Boy, I thought we was about to do some damage that year. And then things got funny once the schedule got a little bit tougher. So, hey, man, as a division rival, we'll see. The jury's still out moving forward. But if I was a fan of a 3-0 team, I don't give a damn how it is. So, it sucks because it's the Eagles. But, man, they 3-0. They playing good ball. I hate it. Listening to these quarterbacks: Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, Pat Mahomes, all took L's yesterday, with the Raiders the only team to score more than 19 points. I'll repeat those names: Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, Pat Mahomes. All took L's, and only one team scored more than 19 points, and that was Derek Carr. Of these 4 guys, and 3 of the 4 might belong in the same sentence. The other one doesn't. We get Derek Carr doesn't belong up there. But we saw all the quarterback talks this offseason. But of these 4, the most bizarre loss to me was the Bills. They had a 40-minute to 19-minute time of possession advantage and only scored, what was it, 17 points or whatever it was? Tua got knocked out for a bit. Them boys had like 700 total yards. And they still lost. And even with all that won against them, they had a chance to win the game with about 1 minute and 40 seconds left, 4th and goal. Josh Allen misses a wide open touchdown. Just dirts it. Looking like the rookie Josh Allen. Just a bizarre game. And then the butt fumble happened after, or the butt punt happened after, and they had another chance to go down and win it, and they couldn't. Just a crazy, bizarre game. And then finally, around the league, we got the Pro Bowl is no more. If you guys missed it this morning, the NFL came out and said they're replacing the actual Pro Bowl game with skills challenges throughout the week. And honestly, I love it. The Pro Bowl game was a 2-hand touch, man. It was more of a risk to these players than a reward. So salute to the NFL for doing the right thing and getting rid of that terrible Pro Bowl game. All right, let's move forward with the injury report here. So everything else stayed the same up until Friday. That's when we found out that Quentin Bohanna is dealing with the neck situation. He was limited the last 2 days. As well as Luke Gifford, who was added to the injury report on Saturday with a hamstring situation. Praying like hell that Bohanna is okay, because he's an integral part of stopping the run, which we'll get to later in the show. And then Luke Gifford, while he's not a guy, right, that is going to play a ton of snaps on the field, on regular base formations and nickels, whatever, but he does everything for special teams. So he may be out. And who fills that void? I would imagine it has to be Jabril Cox. Jabril Cox has to finally get called up if Luke Gifford can't go. Now, I don't think Jabril Cox is going to be involved with any, packages or anything like that. But at the very least, he can get his feet wet, run around out there, hit some people just in case he's called upon. He's not coming in there cold. And then, of course, the one injury, if you want to call it that, that is a blinking red light, was Micah Parsons. Micah is listed as questionable, but as you see there is no question that Micah Parsons is going to play. Remember, they did away with probable. They don't even put probable on there anymore. It's either doubtful, out, or questionable. Do they even have doubtful? I don't even know they have doubtful anymore. But anyway, they list him as questionable, but Micah Parsons posted the flu game Jordan meme on his Twitter account, which basically tells you he's going to go while recovering. But I will say this. He was dealing with a pretty bad case of his condition throughout the week. Him missing practices those 2 days were warranted. However, he is, quote, good to go now. He's been given the treatment he's needed, and he started feeling better towards the end of the week, and I think he should be fine today. Now, he may still be working off some things, but listen, if there was one guy that could have a Jordan flu type of game, it's Micah Parsons. I mean, what are we talking about here? This dude is Superman. And he's got LT in the stands to watch him. So that is this morning's roundup. Went around the league, updated you guys on the injury report. And we talked about Micah Parsons potentially having a flu-like game. When I say flu-like game, I'm talking about Michael Jordan. I think it can happen. Shout out to about the 400 folks who got up in here as we're getting through the roundup. Here's what we'll do. Good stuff. Sources me, trust me, bro. Let me hit the phone lines real quick before we get into our keys to victory. The first one, we're going to jump into the film room for a quick second. I got my guy Jay Tuck in the building. What's good, Tuck? Let's get to Mr. Buchanan in the building. What's goody, man?
What's going on, man? My new name is fucking Troy Aikman. But hey, the keys to success. Yeah,
Troy Aikman.
Yeah, Troy Aikman. I got a picture of never mind. Hey, but look, the keys to success right now is, number one, we got to control the line of scrimmage, first and foremost, on both sides of the ball. They don't exactly have a bump for a running back, and we don't exactly have MVP playing quarterback. So we got to control the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively if we're going to get a win. If we lose the trenches, we lose the game, period. I don't care about what Micah Parsons does, what CeeDee Lamb does, what all the cute X's and O's. If we lose the trenches, we lose the game.
Sure. Yeah, that's a key part of it, 100%, every week.
Right. Because when you control the trenches, you let guys like Cox and Parsons run, or you give guys like Zeke and Pollard opportunity to make their plays when the line is controlled. So first and foremost, got to control the line of scrimmage. Hopefully we can move Tyler Smith in the guard and Jason Peterson ready to play left tackle. That'll definitely help us control the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening this week or at all, to be completely honest with you.
Right. I mean, it don't matter. We control the line of scrimmage, we control the game, period. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate the call.
All right.
I can make a strong case that is every week for the Dallas Cowboys. If you lose the line of scrimmage battle, you're fighting an uphill battle. Not saying you can't win, but you're going to be fighting an uphill battle pretty damn bad. So let's go ahead and get into this situation here. Let me just make sure I got this pulled up. Yep, I do. So I want to make sure we're good here. Let's hit on the first key to victory. Again, these are just 3 I have. You can go into any game with 10 keys to victory, right? But this is just the first one I have here. And that's avoid the trap. This is kind of a double meaning, to be completely honest. I know you see Cooper Rush and you see Wink Martindale there, and we'll get to that in a second. But the first part of avoiding the trap, I'm going to revert to a Bill Parcells-ism. And y'all know what I'm about to say, right? Let me see if y'all know what I'm about to say. What is the one Bill Parcells-ism that rings loud and true here in Dallas? Even though he's said it pretty much everywhere, but you know how the Dallas Cowboys are. Come on, Cowboys Nation. The most obvious Bill Parcells-ism in a situation like this, coming off of a victory, right? Kind of reading the press clippings. Everybody is back on the bandwagon. Don't eat the cheese. Thank you, Chuck P. Don't eat the cheese. That is the first part of this avoiding the trap situation. Listen, I know Dallas just won a big game in a game they thought that they wouldn't win with their backup quarterback. And now you're traveling to the Giants where they really haven't beat you in forever. Daniel Jones not a good quarterback, all that stuff. But as you saw last week or yesterday, anybody can lose to anybody. So don't eat the cheese. Approach this game like you're approaching last week's game where it was extremely important to get the dub. In fact, this one might be even more important given that it's your first NFC East game. And you are 0-1 in the NFC. Your one victory is AFC, so you need this one. You got to approach it that way. So that's the first part of avoid the trap. The other double meaning to that is Cooper Rush. And that's what this one more so is about. Cooper Rush is going to have to avoid the trap coverages that Wink Martindale will throw at you. We saw him do it all last week against Baker Mayfield. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of these situations. Wink Martindale is no newbie to bringing pressure in a variety of ways. I called it organized chaos the other day, and that's tried and true. You're going to see this a lot, and in fact, this is kind of a soft front, if we're being completely honest, that they play. Usually, you'll get 7 guys at the line of scrimmage doing some crazy things. But as we let the play go here, they show a single high cover 1, but they're going to go ahead and revert to a cover 2 with, you see it right there. Number 30 splitting back. He is coming over to his mark. Here's where they messed up, and this is where you can catch them, but you got to avoid the trap. I think this is Julian Love, I'm sorry, trying to fly over here and cover this area, but Baker Mayfield reads it, gets it to the tight end. You get a big play on first down. But these boys ain't dumb. That was third down. That was only one of their 2 conversions I think they had the entire third down. So Wink Martindale comes out, shows a similar look, crowds in line of scrimmage. You're going to get kind of the same look as well, except for instead of the tight end detached, he's attached to the line of scrimmage. And best believe Baker Mayfield is going to go right back to that same thing. Difference? It's basically another trap coverage here. You're going to get those guys coming from a single high cover 1 look to another cover 2 look. 55 is going to drop back into the middle where that throw was wide open at once, and it's not anymore. Holds the ball for an extra tick. And what does that result into, Cowboys Nation? A free rusher and a sack. Now, what happened with Baker Mayfield, he avoided the trap, but he was taking sacks and holding on to the ball and scrambling. He didn't throw any interceptions because that's not really Baker's game. Is not really pre-snap, see it, get rid of it right away. That's not really Baker's game. Baker's trying to make a play all the time. But if we go to Cooper Rush's game, one of the positives in his game is getting rid of the ball quick. Right? He made his quick game is the positive. And I think that Kellen Moore plays into that. If he recognizes it's man, or if he recognizes it's a cover 2 pre-snap look, he can get the ball to where it needs to be. And that's one of his tendencies, is to get it out fast. In fact, after the first 2 weeks He got the ball out at 2.31 seconds, which right now stands third in the NFL. And against Cincinnati, he got it out in 2.21 seconds. 2.21 seconds. That's ridiculously fast. Now sometimes it does bode well, like here. You're going to get a 3-by-1 look, and you're essentially going to get a double slant on the inside guys and kind of a dig on the outside, which is going to give you a 3-window read. So if it's a man coverage or if it's zone, this is actually a good design because no matter what, you'll have something. You just got to find the right read. And he's going to get it to, I think it's CD Lamb here on a quick throw, accurate throw, and allow CD Lamb to get up the seam or get up the field and get some extra yak. That is his game. If he sees it, if it's man, if it's cover 2 and you don't play it right, he can get it to the guy. He can get it to the guy accurately if it's in front of him, meaning the middle of the field. I don't like those hash throws. I do not like him throwing it out there to the numbers. His arm doesn't do that. But here's the problem when you are a quick throw type of quarterback and you're not Tom Brady. It can get you in trouble. It can lead you into some traps, right? And this was the play where they are designing it, not only just traps, but you can also miss opportunities. And this is a play where both of those things happen, where Cincinnati pretty much baits him, shows 5 men coming. I think that's Hubbard who's going to drop back into the zone, gets his hands in the air, almost gets the interception. And what I mean by trap, that's a trap coverage right there for Cooper Rush. This is a tendency read. This is a tendency call. They know Cooper Rush wants to get the ball out really fast. Not only did he almost throw a pick to number, what was that, 94, you're going to miss the seam here. And this happened a few times in the game. There's pros and there's cons. The pros to getting the ball out fast. You'll get those quick slants in man coverage. You'll get the one-on-one reads to Noah Brown. We can throw it up. And he kind of did the same thing last year against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, Amari Cooper, he's going to read man. He's going to see a slant, and he's going to like, oh, I got this. Everybody's manned up. Back foot. He likes to get the ball off, boom, right when that back foot plants. Linebacker reads that, traps him, comes over, and this could have been a pick, could have been something crazy. Instead, it was an incomplete pass. So these are tendencies that I'm sure the Giants are going to pick up on or have already picked up on. And Wink Martindale is going to try to bait him into the wrong decisions. Now, the Giants don't run a whole lot of cover two. They're going to throw a lot of different looks at you pre-snap. At least they're not going to run a lot of cover two. But they're going to do a lot of things pre-snap to make you think and then show something completely different post-snap and rely on you not having enough time to find a soft spot. And make no mistake about it, there will be an answer. There will be a soft spot. You just have to be able to get there. That's why I think the other day when we talked about this matchup, I said if the Cowboys can block it up, if they can find that fifth man, that sixth man, or that fourth man, sometimes it's only 4 guys out of rush and it just looks funny. If they can find it and block it up well, there's going to be opportunities on the outside. There's going to be opportunities in the middle of the field. Just got to block it up. You just got to block it up, Cowboys Nation. They're going to play a lot of man coverage. Now, they're going to do some zone blitzes behind it. Don't get it twisted. This isn't going to be Cincinnati lined up and did a crap ton of man early on in that game, and then they went back and they reverted to a whole lot of zone. I think you're going to get a mixture here with Wink. I don't think you're just going to get flat out, hey, this is a zone look, flat out, this is a man look. He is going to try to cause a lot of organized chaos. On the road, got the crowd. You're going to lean into that. But you can get them. They can get bit. You could argue they're not really facing a different version of the offense they faced in the first 3 weeks. However, one thing, Cowboys Nation, and I'm going to get to the phone lines. One thing that's kind of on my mind here, week 1, they played a bit heavier. They had a lot of linebackers out there trying to deal with that run game with Derrick Henry. Week 2, they was like, nah, we'll lighten this box up a bit and we'll run a whole bunch of big dime, big nickel, and different looks. And they switched it up. So Wink can switch it up. He may throw everybody off and come back out and do what he did week 1. And if he does that, that's where you attack those linebackers in the passing game, in my opinion. All right. So if they decide to try to load up against Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott in this run game with these big backers, I think the adjustment is going to have to be continue to run, right? Continue to run. But then when you get these one-on-ones with Tony Pollard or Zeke or whoever in the back for Turpin, if you decide to put him back there on these linebackers, that's money. That is money. All right. Let's get back to the phone lines real quick. Let me switch this up. My apologies, Cowboys Nation. Where you at? Where you at? There we go. Going to head back to the phone lines. The Pulse of the Nation phone lines presented by the Cochran Firm. Since 2005, our guys, Brian Pope and Larry Taylor, have handled the most challenging civil cases involving personal injury or wrongful death, automobile accidents, class action suits, all types of different cases. And they do so by fighting for you. And they're handled on a contingent fee basis. If there's no financial recovery, then they charge no fee. If you're still not sure what that means, just give them a call. Hit up 1-800-THE-FIRM or schedule your free consultation today at CochranTexas.com. That's 1-800-THE-FIRM or CochranTexas.com, and just ask for Larry or Brian. Good peoples. All right, Los, what you got for me, man?
Buenos dias, Skywalker. What up, man? Hey, game day. I know you're ready, so I'll be 60 seconds or less. Quick points is Tony Pollard touches. We all know he has to touch the ball. And Professor O said a stat before the start of this week, we were ranked last in third down. So we got to change that time. And then, last thing but not least, the more you help yourself offensively, the more you help yourself defensively, set yourself for Daniel Jones in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say, Sky. Dallas Cowboys, 24, New York Giants, 10. And my bold prediction is Micah gets 2.5 sacks a day with a forced fumble. And you have a great day, sir. And keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on prospering, brother. Peace.
Appreciate you, Los. Thank you, man. 24-10, I think, was the score for Cowboys. Stay tuned. I like it. No, that mean everything you said there is so true. Cowboys, I mean, this is crazy because the Cowboys are one of the worst on third down. And then the Giants, we talked about this earlier last week. The Giants are number 1 on third down defense. Does something give here, or does this kind of continue the way it is? Which is why I showed you these plays I showed you. A lot of them were third down plays, and the Cowboys and the Giants will pick up on tendencies. It's just a matter of who, in a way, guesses right. This is going to be a chess match between Wink Martindale, Julian Love, Kellen Moore, and Cooper Rush. Who gets the advantage? But I like what he said where the offense can help the defense. I don't know that the defense is going to need too much help, but it'll help them get into pass rushing situations, right? If the Cowboys come out and get up 14-3, that, to me, that's a wrap. That's why I think coming out strong and fast is going to be extremely important. The last thing you want to do is keep around another 2-0, but keep around an offense like this in the game, fourth quarter. It's a tie game. It's a 3-point game. You're losing, and you're giving this team hope and confidence that they can come out here and beat you. I just don't think their offense is good enough to do so. But if you can't do anything offensively, now you're relying on your defense to score. So I think the offense has to come out here and have a strong start, because one thing we've seen is that, granted, in the Buccaneers game, they only started strong for one series. In the Bengals game, they only started strong for 2. But one thing we've seen is that they've come out better than they have in the middle of the games. So if they can continue that trend, that'll help their defense immensely. Immensely. What's good, Sadiqa? How you doing? Somebody brought up Turpin. Does Turpin get his first return? Man, he was part of our X Factors. We talked about him on Friday. Yeah, we talked about him on Friday. I think so, Jay. I do. I think so. The Giants are third worst in the league in punt return yards and 6th worst in the league in kickoff return yards. So, yeah, I definitely think that he has a chance here to get a return. 100%. All right, let's get to my second one. Key to the game. This one is easy. This one is obvious. And honestly, if there was a ranking, which I don't have rankings, stop Saquon Barkley. Which goes to my guy Buchanan's Troy Aikman. Hilarious. Control the line of scrimmage. That's part of stopping Saquon Barkley. We talked about Saquon last week when reviewing this offense for the Giants. This offense runs through him without a shadow of a doubt. Daniel Jones hasn't been that great. He hasn't been seeing things well. Hasn't been throwing the ball. There's a stat called the Alex stat where, you throw the ball on third downs or in general. He's throwing the ball short of sticks more than anybody in the league. And he's missing opportunities too. So this team, this offense in general, it flows through Saquon Barkley, y'all. And the two things that are going to be ideal to stopping him, aside from obviously controlling the line of scrimmage, wrapping up and containing, something that the Cowboys did an excellent job of last week in that game specifically. One of the guys we talked about the most doing that was Anthony Barr. I thought Anthony Barr did a fantastic job containing the edge, did a fantastic job wrapping up, tackling, and setting up things for Leighton Vander Esch and Donovan Wilson and all these guys. And you could just see his IQ on full display. I think him and LVE are going to have to play off each other like they did against Cincinnati to contain a Saquon Barkley. Barkley is a guy that'll make you miss. He's top 5 in forced missed tackles after 2 weeks. And he's a guy that if you do miss, he can take what's supposed to be a 5-yard gain to 55 yards. So, and the reason why I say contain the outside is because remember how back in the day, just like 4 years ago, Ezekiel Elliott used to be a menace. If you did not contain the edges, he'd make a cut and he'd turn something from 3 yards to 13 yards. Well, that's the same thing that Saquon Barkley can do. So you definitely have to wrap up and stop Saquon. That's come on. You do that. I think this defense is going to have a monster day. A monster day. For sure. Let's get back to the phone lines. We got our guy, the original OG B Bird. What's good, B Bird?
Was good. That Sky was I had a stress-free Sunday when the Cowboys don't play. I can just watch football. How was yours, man?
See what I'm saying? That's I don't like primetime games, but if it's going to be on Monday, I love it because Sunday you can just sit back, chill. It's stress-free. You can watch everybody beat up on each other. So I had a good Sunday.
Yeah, mine was too. I have two things, man. One thing is that last game I think we had 5 penalties. I don't know how many we had on offense. I know we had a couple of them on defense.
Not many.
Teams,
like 2 or 3, I think it was.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do want to point out is that while we have issues with Kellen Moore, everybody does, the problem is that no offense, I don't care if it's KC's or Rams, can afford to start off 1st and 20, 1st and 15. It's hard calling plays like that. It puts you in a bad situation, puts you in obvious passing downs. You really want to have the defense wondering what you're going to do, but you can't do that in first and longs and things of that sort. We stayed away from that last game. So one of the things we got to stay away from is penalties. We can't start off 1st and 15 because of a false start or 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20 for a holding. We got to stay on schedule, and that allows the offense to run better just via the numbers. You're not in, such and such and long and all this kind of thing. So we really got to stay away from the offensive penalties period, but offensive penalties. And I think that's part of what we did last game. We just didn't put ourselves in bad situations, and I that's why we always talk about this number of penalties, like the sheer number 10. But we start looking really within that those things really will shut down an offense. And I think the last few games, Tampa game, 49er game, especially, we just had so many penalties, man. We just shot ourselves in the foot. And last game, I don't think we did offensively.
Yeah, we didn't. And it's so funny because when we do get in those 1st and 15 situations in week 1, we actually ran the ball a lot in those situations, and we were successful running the ball. And in week 2, we didn't put ourselves in 1st and 15, but there were about 3 different occasions where we put ourselves in 2nd and 14, 2nd and 13, because we did a variation of a pitch that didn't get blocked up right to Ezekiel Elliott. And now we're in 2nd and 14. So he definitely got better from a play calling standpoint and preparation, in my opinion, where he adjusted to the zone. But now we got to clean up the timing of some of these calls, and I understand they blocked it up like once on that pitch against Zeke, but you can't put yourself in 2nd and longs with bad execution or via penalties. But sitting here looking, they didn't have many on offense. I want to say they had 3 defensively. I know 2 of them were personal fouls, so that means they only had 2 or 3 offensively. So if the Cowboys can live with 2 or 3 offensive penalties every game for a Dallas Cowboys team, I take it.
Yeah, and my last thing, I'll ask you this question is a little bit off topic, but it's Cowboy related. So I was watching Red Zone yesterday, and every time they gave a Philly-Washington update, Philadelphia had the ball. I was telling my son, I said, why every time I'm looking at the Red Zone, Philadelphia has the ball? Well, one of the things is that going into this year, man, I picked us to win the East. I think you did too.
Yep.
And even with us losing the people that we lost, I still feel like we got enough to win the East. The reason, my number one thing, Eagles were number 2. My number one thing in us winning the East is that I just didn't have confidence that Jalen Hurts was going to be the quarterback that they needed to have to, even with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and those guys, if the quarterback's not there, then it makes no difference if you have a wide receiver. The problem I got is that Jalen Smith's playing well. I kind of want you to comment on what you've seen so far with Philadelphia. Has that changed your mind in the East or whatever? Because, hey, to me, man, I don't know if you get this too, but I feel like Philly's going to be a problem. And I'm going to take your answer offline and listen, brother. I appreciate your time and everything. I'll continue to listen to the show.
Thanks, B-Bird. Appreciate you. But I don't appreciate you making me have to say nice things about the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't like that. I said enough nice things about Philly. Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier in the roundup, right now, after 3 weeks, Philly looks good. It was always about Jalen Hurts. I've said this I don't know how many times. I even went, me and Vach went at it in the car on the way home. I'm like, dog, I get what you're saying. And I understand you are who you are about this team and everybody else sucks. But they've done a fantastic job putting guys around Jalen Hurts, putting a really good team offensively, defensively. They made the right moves. This is purely going to come down to Jalen Hurts developing. Also part of the development process is the offensive coordinator and doing those things too. So far, so good. Again, like I said earlier, though, I watched the Cowboys go 3-0 playing mediocre to bad teams. Offensively, we're out here killing it. And then after that, it kind of went down, the tank. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to Philly. But as of right now, September 26th, we're playing good, It's week 3. It's week 3. We'll see what happens here once we get to me. I always need it. Give me about a month or so of the season before I start talking about this or that, because we've seen way too many times as Cowboy fans, how things start is not really indicative to how they end. But hat tip to them boys, man. Their pass rush is getting after it. Their defense is playing well. The secondary is playing well. Their play calling is getting them leads, and then they can just pin their ears back. And that's a goddamn enough of that. B. Bird made me say nice things about the Eagles. 970. What it is, what it do.
Hey, I'm not going to make you say anything nice about the Eagles.
Sonny! What's good, Sonny?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, it looks like we're seeing a lot of good defenses. This week being played.
Yeah, it's a lot of good defense.
That's what I've seen throughout. That game between Brady and Aaron Rodgers. And then that last night's game, that Broncos game. If San Francisco would have had a better quarterback, they would have won that game.
Hey, Sonny, how'd you feel about Jimmy Garoppolo stepping out the end zone like our guy Dan Orlovsky?
Oh, I don't care for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Did you see him step out the back of the end zone and get a safety though? Hilarious.
Oh yeah, I seen all that. Oh yeah, I mean if they'd have had a better quarterback, they'd have won that game.
Sure.
You know, I live right here in Colorado. You know, I kind of like Denver's defense. They do have a good defense, and they've had for a few years. You know, but Wilson, he doesn't look right. It looks like to me the teams that have the better quarterbacks are, you know, these defenses this year looks like it's going to be a defensive year. I mean, what's your thoughts? To me, that's the way I'm looking at it.
I say this.
So
far through 3 weeks, much like all of last year, I just don't see a dominant team in general. I don't see one or two or three dominant teams. I see a league that, you know, Roger Goodell has to be smiling ear to ear when he thinks of parity. Like everybody can beat everybody, and it's going to come down to the end of the season, who gets in the tournament and how they're playing. But it looks like a league where it's right for the picking for anybody as long as they get hot.
Yeah. Well, I just can't wait for us to play Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, just to shut their mouths up. And if we get beat by them, I'll, shake their hand. They're the better team, I guess, that day. But, hats off to them. They like you said, they went out and put pieces around Hurts, They did. They're doing okay.
There's no denying that. As much as y'all, people that know me personally, I hate them. I don't hate anything in this world, but Philly.
Yeah.
But when I remove my Cowboys hat and I put on my football hat and I look what their front office did this offseason, I'm like, shit. Boy, they went out and did some good things, didn't they?
Hey, is Micah Parsons going to play tonight?
Yes, he is.
Do we know that?
Yes, he will be.
So he is. He's not. Is he real sick? Does he got like the? How sick did he get with the flu bug?
It wasn't the flu, but he was sick. It was pretty bad. It was a pretty bad case of what he had. I'm not at liberty to say, but it was a pretty bad case. He went and got it checked out, went and got all the medications, and started feeling better at the end of the week. And he got what he needed to get, and he should be ready to go tonight.
Hey, I got a question. What happens? I'm just saying, what happens if the Giants do beat us tonight? What's that going to do for? I don't know what the hell. I guess it depends on how they beat us, right?
No, we the Cowboys.
I just can't picture them beating. If we got really that top tier of a defense, we should be able to shut them down.
I'm with you, Sonny. I think this defense can go out there and shut down that offense. We just have to not give them, easy field position with shank punts and turnovers and things like that. But if we make them,
it could be like the San Francisco and Denver game we watched last night.
It
could turn out to be one of them type games or a little higher scoring.
I think a little bit more. I think Dallas gets a little bit more
on our part, but maybe not so much on the Giants, right? Because of the quarterback. Well, our quarterback, Cooper Rush, I realize he plays with these. I don't know, dude. I know we're going to win because of our defense.
That's kind of how I feel.
But hey, I just like to call in and just say, hey, you're doing a great job. And
thank you, son.
We ain't going to really know much until after next month, till about around Thanksgiving, where the teams are standing at.
Sure. Yep. Bill Parcells always says.
All this. Look what happened last year. Arizona went out of the gate. They were 8-0, 7-0. Look what happened to them. Oh, yeah. All right. But hey, how about them Cowboys?
How about them, man? Appreciate you, Sonny.
Yeah. I think they're going to win by 21 points tonight.
I love it, Sonny. I like it.
I do. Hey, I appreciate you, Sean. I listen to you guys every day.
My man.
All right. Thank you, boss. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. See ya. It's my guy, Sonny. My bad. Yeah. Sonny's good to talk to, man. He's fun. I'm only laughing inside because y'all are ridiculous. Barry says Sky probably dying laughing inside. But the Nick Nolte, y'all crazy, man. Y'all are crazy. We got a couple more callers. Let me get to my third and final one here. Let's go ahead and end this thing in regards to my keys to the game. Another low-hanging fruit here. But if we're talking about avoiding the trap, right? And if we're talking about Trey, I ain't. If we're talking about stopping Saquon Barkley, then I think the final key, if you're going to stop Saquon Barkley, is to unleash Micah Parsons, y'all. I mean, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was sitting here over the last few days back and forth, not really back and forth. I'm gonna put Micah in the middle type of guy this week because of Saquon Barkley. But there's an asterisk next to that. If you put Micah in the middle, that's first and second down, or that's second and short, or third and one. Anything that's not third, 3 or less, put his ass on the edge and unleash him. Because if you can get a lead by avoiding that trap, if you can stop Saquon Barkley by making them have to pass, then you unleash Micah Parsons. And it's curtains. Not curtains. Daniel Jones will be looking around once he hears that dong, and he'll be seeing ghosts. And that ghost will be Micah Parsons. Now, I understand Micah may not line up at defensive end all game this game because of Saquon, but that means guys like D-Law and guys like Sam and Dorrance, and they got a tough matchup over there, by the way. Dorrance against the Thomas kid, Andrew Thomas. So if Dorrance goes off against Andrew Thomas, we might have to change the conversation. Fowler and these guys are going to have to come to play as well. Not just Micah, but I mean, it's Micah. So stop Saquon, then unleash Micah Parsons. And I just think this game can get out of hand, man. From a defensive standpoint, though, like you can legitimately kick 4 field goals, be up 12-0, and that feels insurmountable. That's just how I feel. And maybe I'm overconfident. It is what it is. I don't know. So when I say out of hand, and I don't, Mickey said a blowout could look really weird. A blowout could be like 17-3. That's a blowout for right now, the way the Cowboys offense has operated. The Cowboys offense has truly had 3 productive drives, for being honest, all season. Now, no, let's count the 4th one. We'll say 4. We'll count the last one. I mean, they had to go get 30 yards, and they got it. So they've had 4 productive drives. Maybe they build on top of that from week 2, and they come out and they score 27 points. But I only need the offense to get me 2 touchdowns. They get me 2 touchdowns today. I think the Cowboys can win this game. Then they can win this game. All right, we got the return. I know, Professor. We got the return of a former heel. I don't know if he's turned face. But what's good, Danny? Macho Man Randy Savage. How are you, sir?
Hey, yo. Good morning, Sky. How's everything going?
It's going good,
Going
man.
good or what?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to answer Sonny's question. If we lose tonight, Uncle Rico is going to be our quarterback next week.
Nah, I don't think they're going to bench your boy. Well, they might bench him for your boy, Will Greer. We'll see.
Yeah, I do like Greer. I do. A kid to watch tonight, his name is David Sills. He played with Greer at West Virginia. Beast. He's just been injured the last 3 years.
Yeah.
He only had 35 touchdowns 2 years. Okay, let's get to the Giants O-line. Besides their left tackle, they are horrible.
They're bad.
Horrible. O'Neal, the kid from Alabama, first-round pick, horrible. Barkley shot his load first week of the season. He didn't do nothing against Carolina. The Giants' offensive line made Carolina look like Julius Peppers was out there. Daniel Jones was running for his life. How they pulled that game out, I have
defense?
no idea.
The defense won in that game.
Yeah. But the only thing that scares me is the Giants' 2 defensive ends are coming back tonight.
Yes.
I'm not so big on this. I can't even pronounce the rookie's name, but that kid Ojulari.
And Kayvon Thibodeau, they both will be returning tonight, which is a matchup to watch for sure. Steele and Tyler Smith are going to have their challenges, so this would be a good litmus test.
And even scarier is Ojulari's younger brother, who's at LSU. He's going to be a first rounder this year. He's bigger and stronger than him. He's scarier. Listen, Dallas can score 2 touchdowns tonight and win. Do I want to put the mortgage on the Dallas? Yeah. Do I also want to run the other way and just don't do it? That's probably what's going to happen. I think if Micah's fully healthy, he could go for 3 sacks. If Micah's sick, he'll go for 2. He's just built. I was just
about to say, Danny, he's not ailing physically from any of his ligaments or anything like that. This is just basically this is something completely different. So yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he should be fine. Like I said, Barkley, besides the first game of the year against the Titans, he did nothing. Listen, that's the curse of the Penn State running back. Besides Barkley for 1 year and Larry Johnson for like 1 year, name me a great Penn State running back in the last 30 years. I'll be waiting. You can't. You go to Penn State for linebackers and offensive linemen. But let's hope everything goes well tonight. And like I said, I mean, we could score 2 touchdowns and win. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But if we lose, we can expect more stupid stuff from Jerry.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to be around if we lose to the Giants.
And just my one last point before I leave. Listen, nobody hates Philly more than me. I hate Philadelphia. I hate Philadelphia fans. But their front office runs circles around our front office. How many years?
There's no denying that.
How many years have they had multiple first-round draft picks? Even next year, they got 2. At some point, all of these first-rounders are going to pay dividends. Listen, they have beaten nobody. I'll agree with you. They've beaten nobody. But Hurts does look good. Their defense does look good. And right now, they do look like the best team in the NFC East. And I want to vomit when I say that. So let me try to not vomit and finish my coffee before the gym because I hate Philadelphia with every bone in my body.
Mm-hmm.
Great call as always.
I had to end it with these Philly people, man. But great call, Danny. Great call.
Let's say we got to root for Dallas tonight. Root for Micah to make the difference. In the Meadowlands, in LT's home.
Yep, he'll be there.
I think that might have a little incentive for Micah on Monday night.
Yeah, and he'll be there.
He'll be there?
Yeah, LT said he's coming.
Wow. Yeah, predict a big game for Micah.
Right.
Wow, predict a big game. Good call. Let me get out, so I'm sure there's other guys on the line.
Good call. Good call. There's definitely appreciate you, Dan. Yeah, man. Micah Parsons. I'm sorry, Lawrence Taylor will be in the stands to witness. Do we have to start doing that with Micah? Like, witness. Remember the whole LeBron James, a witness. You are a witness in greatness, in my opinion. But, he's been compared to one Lawrence Taylor. That's who Micah Parsons has been compared to. And it's hard to argue that. But I just think he's his own man as well. I just think he can do his own thing. I think he'll be the first Micah Parsons, but I totally get why the Lawrence Taylor comparison. So I'm looking forward to him coming out there and just completely wrecking havoc and putting on for one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest defensive player of all time. We had this conversation in the offseason after Aaron Donald won. The 3 names that were put up there was Aaron Donald, Lawrence Taylor, and Reggie White. I don't want to revisit it, but, man, it's hard to go against LT. It's hard to go against LT, but Aaron Donald, I think he's approaching that. I think you're approaching that. Let's get to my guy B. What's good, B? What's up, man? How you?
Oh, man, I'm all right, man. How was your weekend, man?
Like I said, no Cowboys football on Sunday. Got a chance to kick back, just watch football and enjoy it, man.
Oh, man, that's what's up, man. That's how I felt, man. Just able to sit back and chill, man. Watch some games. But I ain't going to hold you, man. I just wanted to say, I think that we sit here and I just listened to the last few calls. It just seems like there's this, I want to say this confidence that the Cowboys are going to go up there and win. It's Monday night. The Giants, I can't remember the last time the Giants started the season 3-0. And they got a lot on the line just like us.
100% they do.
And us with a second-string quarterback, every week we come on here and we talk about basically we don't trust Kellen Moore. We don't trust his play calling. And at some point, man, it's just going to, in my opinion, if we keep having that conversation, it's just going to keep rearing its ugly head. And honestly, I think it's going to happen again this week. I don't like the Cowboys to win. I think Brian Dable is going to stay true to what that team is. And I think that no matter, even if the Cowboys jump out 10-0, I think he's going to continue to run that ball. And that's something that Kellen Moore, in my opinion, he won't run the ball 30, 35 times to make his defense better because they'll play less plays. But he also, to me, he won't take the deep shots. And I just feel like you were talking about trap coverages earlier.
Yep.
I can see Cooper Rush being late to the flat again. He got away with it in Cincy against Cincy.
Yeah,
I can just see him being late. I can see him being late, going backside, and I can just see a pick. And I'm not trying to be, pessimistic or anything like that. I just watched the game, man, and I think the Cowboys lose this game 13-23. And I think Saquon go for probably $120. He's going to have 25 carries. I truly believe that. And if he got 25 carries, we're probably going to lose this game. And I expect that because I don't trust the coordinator. And until he shows me that he can put together consistency from a game calling perspective.
All right. It's my turn. It's my turn, B. This is depressing, B. This is depressing. Okay. So I'm trying to piece this together. You said you believe they're going to lose because the Giants are going to continue to feed Saquon 25 times, and if they get 25 carries, they're going to win the game. And you say it's because of you don't think Kellen Moore is going to do. Like, how do those two things correlate? Like, our defense is the one that's playing against Saquon Barkley, not Kellen Moore.
Yeah, but at some point it wears you down defensively when a team is just continue. Like if you look, take for example, look at the Bengals the second half. You saw the Cowboys start to wear down.
No,
and
you saw them wear down on one drive, just one.
Okay, and that's my point. Do you think that's the perfect point? That was one drive, and that's because what? The Bengals stayed committed. My point is
committed to what? Because they didn't go down there because they ran the ball.
They're gonna stay committed. The Giants are going to stay committed.
But B, you're a little bit all over the place. The Bengals did not succeed on that drive due to running the ball. They succeeded on that drive due to very clutch catches by Chase and very clutch fourth down and third down conversions by Joe Burrow. I get what you're saying in regards to Saquon Barkley. He's the guy, right? Like, he's the guy you got to stop. But why do you think that they won't corral Saquon Barkley? Like, you didn't really give me a reason. You just said, hey, Saquon's going to go off. Why do you think it? Is it a mismatch on the interior? Is it we can't tackle? Is it Micah's going to be out of place? Is it like why is Saquon going to go off? Yeah.
I think that what Saquon does the best is basically what you said earlier about attacking the edges. If you look at the Bucs game, they were able to get to the edges and they had success running the football. consistently.
Right. But can you give the Cowboys credit for correcting that? Hold on, but can you give them credit for correcting that the next game?
Yes, but I'm saying I'm saying you're asking me why I think that the Giants are going to continue to attack the edges of the Cowboys defense with the running game. And I think this team, I just think that this coach is he knows his shortcomings of his quarterback. And I think if you understand your own personnel offensively and you're going to play to your offensive strengths, so to speak, and if you can have success doing it, I think that eventually comes the fourth quarter, man, that shit where I play defensive tackle.
Yeah.
That shit wears on you, bro. And that's all I'm saying.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. I just think that the Giants are more likely to stick to who they are offensively than the Cowboys.
That's fair to say. But what if I told you the Cowboys ran the ball 28 times last week?
Zeke had what?
Against a better
15
team.
carries. Zeke had 15. How many did Pollard have? 8.
I consider it 9. I consider it 9 because that toss was a run, not a pass. So that's why.
That was a run. Yeah, I Zeke to me, I don't know. Are we scared to give Zeke the ball 20, 25 times? Would you be opposed to that?
If he's on and popping like in week 1, keep giving him the ball, right? Keep giving it to the hot hand, keep wearing down the defense. Sure.
To me, that's get the ball to this man. Let's see if he can do it. I mean, it just keep running the ball. That's all I'm saying, man.
Your skepticism is fair because I'm very skeptical on Kellen Moore sticking to it as well. Like I'm not. That's one thing I don't disagree with you there. I just don't see this Giants offense good enough. Even if you run the ball, here's the thing about running the ball. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers ran the ball successfully. I said this when we broke down. I'm not sure if you were here earlier this week, B. I said this when we broke down Saquon Barkley. I said, as long as you don't let him score, you're fine. Even if he breaks a 60-yarder, don't let him score. Because we saw the Leonard Fournette rush for $127, and they had 12 points until the fourth quarter. Because running the ball, when you run the ball the way that those two teams do, it really only makes a difference if you can score. Because if you go down there and you're only getting 3 points or you're getting no points, then what's the difference, right? So if Dallas can continue to make teams, get off the field on third down or kick field goals, you'll have a shot. I don't care if they give the ball to Saquon Barkley 75 times.
I hear what you're saying. Like I said, I just think I don't trust Kellen Moore, and your offensive coordinator sometimes has to understand where his defense is at. And sometimes
that's fair. That's fair. If you're worried about Kellen, I can't be mad at you for that because I still am.
This is really not. It's not too much about. I think the Giants are just a better team than the Cowboys. This is how much I do not trust Kellen Moore.
Gotcha.
And Mike McCarthy hasn't shown the ability over 3 years that he'll step in and say, "This is what we're going to do, and we're going to stick to the game plan." I'm never going to get over hook and ladder second play of a playoff game.
Hook and ladder on third down. Yeah, he's wild.
Oh, man, but I'll tap in with you tomorrow, man, and we see where it go. I hope I'm wrong, but
this
that's
is
just how
I feel you.
I see it.
All right, B.
All right, man.
This is definitely one of those situations where you want to be wrong. I wasn't this cynical last week, but I was on the other side of this last week. I thought that they wouldn't be able to pull it out, but I was hoping like hell I was wrong, and I was. But where's the statistic? Do I got this stat up here? And again, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Anything is possible. Here we go. Where's it at? Sometimes I hate being the only person that does the production stuff for my show. Here we go. All right. Okay, so Saquon Barkley. Yeah, he led the league. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he can do Saquon things. But 43% of his rushes came on 2 carries. Right? Meaning he ain't really doing shit on the other one. So, which is why it's important to me to wrap up and contain. I get his concern of the contain aspect because, like I said, when describing Saquon Barkley. Much like early Zeke, he can bounce that thing outside. But I watched the Cowboys defense do better containing. I watched them line up better too. Here's one thing that Brian DeBall could do, or Dayball, I always say his name wrong, that may mess up the numbers. He's very good at getting the numbers advantage after the snap. You might see one thing post snap and you got a tight end coming in. And that's why I tweeted out, Tuck, you probably saw it. I tweeted out on Twitter, man, I saw so many just good play designs this week. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out they came from guys that was in that Shanahan tree. But nonetheless, I saw some really good designs that just put so much stress on your defense post-snap and hell, sometimes pre-snap, because as a defender, you are keyed on a certain thing. But after that snap, it looks completely different. And DeBall and Kafka, they're going to do those things to the Cowboys defense. They're going to make you see one thing, and now you got a tight end coming around with a guard. It's going to look funny. So did the Cincinnati Bengals. They were a team that did a lot of that stuff too, but it didn't affect them that much. So, and Joe Burrow is just better. Tom Brady's just better. So, maybe I'm a little overconfident with this defense, but can we all say that rightfully so, we are confident with this defense? Rightfully so. Now watch me come on this month tomorrow and they done put up for. I'm gonna tell you right now, if they come out here and they just go off on this Cowboys defense, I might start to show off with no.
They ask you, you're not really fun, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
These got New York, and I didn't say Giants. That'll be me tomorrow if that happens. I don't see it. That'd be hilarious. Beirut Wedding said I should hire Vosh to do your production. Got it up, Vosh. That's funny. There's so many inside things to that, but hilarious. Honestly, good call though, B. I like to hear the opposite side. We were very confident, maybe overconfident, which is why I said do not eat the cheese. We can as fans. They better not as players. All right, let's get to 469. What it do, 469?
Hey, what's going on? I wanted to talk about what Steve Young said. I feel like he was right, but it was taken out of context by the media.
Talking about
one thing I
Steve
do.
Young. Go ahead. I'll let you called into the show. Go ahead.
There's two things specifically that I know for sure he's talking about. Like, number one, Dak has a tendency to hold on to the ball. He needs to get rid of it. That's one thing that benefited Cooper Rush. He went through his progressions, hurry up, got rid of the ball. The second thing is, every time that I've seen Dak throw, he's literally in the air. Like, his back foot isn't even touching the ground. That's very odd. So he needs to work on that. Matter of fact, I pull up some videotape and just show him, hey, here's what you're doing when you're throwing the ball. Quit throwing midair. It's weird. Never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, he had a back foot situation his first 2 years in the league. Then Kitna came in and corrected it a bit. Now you kind of see him get a little weird with it throughout his the last couple of years. What if I told you though, Dak Prescott was top 10, I believe might have been top 10 in releases last year?
I can believe it, but this year he I know nobody was hardly getting open, but
Oh, I'm sorry, top half of the league. Top half of the league. I'm sorry. He got rid of it in 2.6 seconds, which is the same as Matt Stafford. I'm sorry, Matt Ryan, Justin Herbert. Actually, faster than Justin Herbert, faster than Pat Mahomes, a couple other guys. Again, I think we explained this. I'm not sure if you watched the show before. The holding of the ball for this offense is more, in my opinion, more to do with how the routes are designed. Now, where Dak needs to get rid of the ball is when it is designed to come out quick, right? Like when you have that quick spin. I don't know if you saw the show where I broke it down, where I said, trust it, rip it, live with it. That is an instance where just throw it. Just get rid of the ball. If it gets smacked, it gets smacked. But yeah, he's not. It's not like he's holding the ball at an abnormally long ratio. And I don't know if you were here earlier in the show when I talked about Cooper Rush. That is one of, if you want to call it a strength of a Cooper Rush is getting rid of the ball quickly, but it can also bite you in the ass because you miss opportunities on opposite sides and you get baited into traps, which happened a handful of times in Cincy and against Minnesota. So there's pros and cons to both quarterbacks, obviously. And if it was the whole hold the ball thing, to me is the least. The one part about holding the ball is to see it, trust it, and rip it. That's the one thing that I need when it's designed to get out. But you got to understand there's times where it's 1, 2, 3, I'm at my back of my drop, top of my drop, and I'm waiting for the routes to progress because that's just how it is. But I think that's a bit overblown in regards to holding the ball. The get it out in front, I agree. That's something he needs to do more at a consistent basis. Trusting himself, because he hasn't trusted himself since freaking week 6 or whatever it was of last year. I agree is something he needs to do at a more consistent basis. But I think there's more context to holding the ball and getting rid of the ball. It's really not a correlation of success as much as people think.
I think they need to also utilize Turpin better. Get him to stretch the field so that we can work the middle of the field. You know what I mean? It's just certain things that aren't being done that could really help this team change it up a little bit. They keep on giving like screens and reverses. That's utilize his speed.
Brother, I have no idea why you have that type of weapon and you don't give him the rock at least 3 times a game just to scare the defense. So I'm with you.
Right. Yep. That's all I wanted to talk about.
Matt, good call, brother. Appreciate you.
All right.
Pick that up where he talked about Turpin. I think he's a guy that could have a big day today or tonight. We talked about it. He was one of our X factors. But in this defense, in this scheme, this organized chaos, this Wink Martindale super aggressive. I don't give a damn what Wink does. He don't have a McKinney, who the hell ever back there. He don't got a safety that can deal with that speed. That's why you see in some of his instances, Julian Love or whoever the hell is just turning around and beelining back. They just gone to get to that middle of the field. It might start middle of field open and it closes because you got a guy coming from the box to deep safety. But he ain't looking. Turpin's so damn fast. If I send him on a seam route, you have to respect his speed. Just one time. Send him on a seam route and just say, fly, young man, fly. And I'm going to just throw that ball deep as hell and hope something happened down there. Do it one time, maybe 2 times. I bet you Xavier McKinney going to be looking for number 2. I bet you Julian Love going to be looking for number 2. And that's going to open up things on the backside. So use him. The hell you got him in here for? We're on good timing today. We got 2 more callers. I'm going to leave it open for this one more call. I'm going to lock up the phone lines. Ooh, we got breaking news. Oh, they do it. Hey, oh, they do it. And the reason why I'm happy is because breaking news, Professor O, appreciate you. Says Jason Peters, per Jordan Schultz. Shout out to Jordan Schultz. He always reaches out. Jason Peters is going to be active tonight. Now, he's probably not going to start. Probably not going to play a ton of snaps. But, man, like I told y'all before, he's got good tape from last year. I want to see him get his feet wet, hit somebody, move somebody, get hit, and see how he feels the next day since, he is 40.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
So I'm excited for that. All right, I missed a couple super chats real quick. Let me get back to the lines. Damn, did I miss that many? Oh, I'm about to say, damn, Twan. Jamie. We're just going to call you Jamie D.
Super chat.
Appreciate you. He says, can't call because I'm driving, but Giants won't score in the half. Cowboys win 20-3. I love it.
Super chat.
My guy, King Element, $2 donation says, Turpin about to look like Tecmo Bo Jackson. Man, listen, it's there. If you go and look at the Giants special teams, they this close. I'm sorry, yo, that ain't a special team. That's a LT. What I'm talking about? They this close to giving up a touchdown. And they got these slow ass linebackers. Their linebackers are not good, man. I think he's going to get one. And I think this is kickoff. But they give up a lot on kickoff. They give up a lot on punt. Now that's their punt. I think Turpin going to get one, y'all. I do. Let's get to my guy, Mel. What's good, Mel?
King Sky, what up, big bro?
What's up with you, man?
Man, B, not only did you pick the Giants, but you picked the Giants to score 23 points? What?
Yeah, that's...
Come on, dog.
So check this out. They haven't scored 23 points all season against, in my opinion, worse defenses. And B got them scoring 23 against the Cowboys.
Defenses. Yeah, I wasn't mad at him, like, picking the Giants. Like, okay, maybe you could see something going bad, but the Giants scoring 23 points, that's not happening. Cowboys win 24-10. 24-10. We get one special teams touchdown. We're going to get a defensive touchdown, and the offensive score one. That'll give us 21, and we'll get a field goal in there. 24-10. Should be a relatively easy game, man. I don't see this going no other way.
Yeah, and I'll talk about it later today with Jesse, by the way, on Game Day Live. I got a feeling that, and this might be a bold prediction, but I think Dallas scores on all three units.
I'm with you. I'm right with you. Man, I'm jumping off, bro. I'm about to run up in here, but keep doing what you're doing, brother, man. Appreciate you.
My guy, appreciate you. And I'll talk to you later, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, make sure y'all tune in to Game Day Live, man. Me and Jesse gonna have that thing rock.
I'm in my zone, on the road to the Super Bowl. Every game on the schedule crucial, it take a toll. It don't matter if we're at home or on the road. You try to tackle, I'll truck a sucker and take it soul. I'm staring at 4th and goal, gotta find an open hole. A linebacker just close a hole where I'm supposed to go. So now I'm thinking my centers are all pro, so I trust he can make a walk for wherever the ball go. Yeah, there's 5 seconds on the play clock. The crowd was loud, but they stopped. Now it's silent while they watch. They stand off in the red zone. All I see is red home. Watch me get this touchdown and this W and head home.
Fires me up, baby. Let's go, man. Let's go. We ain't gonna run it back, though. We ain't gonna run it back. I can listen to that all day. That's my guy. But somebody in the chat said division games are not easy. 100%. This is a division game. This could look muddy and ugly. You're on the road Monday night. They're trying to get a whiteout going. Yeah. It may not be. It may not look easy. It may not be easy. It may come down to a tight finish at the end. Just think Dallas can win this game. Sure, New York can win it too. I mean, it ain't like we rolling out number one offense from last year, but I just feel better about our defense. I feel better about our special teams. And then the offense just has to do enough. Yeah, Alpha. That get me hype, bro. All right. We got one more caller in, so we got 2. Locking it up. We on good timing. We'll see if we get the OT. What's up, 737? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Scott? It's your boy Dak not done yet, man.
Dak not. I can't save your number, but what's good, man?
Yes, sir. My first thing is old boy Tom at 23 points. Hey, bro. I understand where you coming from. I understand what you're saying, but yeah, that's not gonna happen with this defense. I ran tape for the last 12 games. Our team in New York. Look at the release. This year, some plays. New York's just so slow getting off the ball. We're just so fast. Our release is so fast. And then I understand you saying about the edges. I understand you saying about the edges, but you can't take Tampa Bay game, the first game of the season, and try to dictate that for our season because we obviously create made it right in game 2. So you can't take game 1 and say okay, we're gonna be like that the whole season.
Yeah. And let's give credit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. They've only given up 3 touchdowns in 3 games, so that is a tough defense and whatnot. And we weren't on that first week, but I feel like the offense will continue to get better. You got Michael Gallup coming back tonight, by the way. James Washington will be back, and eventually Dak will be back too. So Yeah, the offense you saw in week 1. Here's a problem. They didn't get a chance to redeem themselves, or Dak didn't get a chance to redeem himself to week 2. So it's probably not going to be to about middle of the season until he has that chance. Well, we'll see. I don't know when he's going to come back. But I think the offense you get week 1 is not the offense you're going to have week 12.
Yeah. And then we're going to get off this Dak and Cooper comparison thing. I know you squashed it. You don't have nothing to do with it, but I'm just telling you that. We're going to get off that because the bottom line is, you know what I'm saying? The bottom line is, do you trust Cooper Rush in a playoff game? Do you trust Cooper Rush against KC? You know what I'm saying? Do you trust Cooper? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the bottom line is Dak Prescott is our quarterback. Y'all just need to get off that narrative. Cooper Rush said it. Cooper Rush does do something, and oh my God, stop blaming everything on our coach. The bottom line is, game 2, he put his insight in that playbook, and you seen what happened, but people are still trying to come down on him. That's my biggest issue. Nobody seems to understand that or looked at that or realize that. He put his insight on that, and you seen what happened. We was pretty much 50-50. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? As far as ball and pass. So let's just see how this game is played to see if it's similar to game 2, and then you can start predicting how we are forming as an offense. Let me get your insight on that.
So you're saying that Kellen Moore did adjust week 2?
Yes, I believe.
I agree.
I believe that Kellen Moore did adjustment.
He did. We broke that down a little bit last week. He definitely adjusted, and I think that's something to build on. No matter how, I don't care if it's with Dak or with Cooper Rush. I think it's something to build on moving forward, and hopefully, now this week's gonna be a little different because Wink is just not. Wink is a different animal, man. He'll risk getting burnt to get to your quarterback. So you're not going to see a lot of too high. You're not going to see a lot of cover 2. He's coming. So what's going to have to happen is because Wink will adjust mid-game. So will Kellen. Kellen will have to say, okay, this is how they playing us. Let's figure out an adjustment. And that's the next step of growth that we have to see from Kellen Moore. You know what I'm saying?
How much man do New York run?
Oh, they run a good amount. But it's not just my lineup over top of you like the Cincinnati Bengals did. They're not going to rush forward and just be like, yep, we're going to man up with 2 high safeties. Nah, bro. They're coming with 5, or the 4th guy might be coming from a weird area, and they may run man on one side and then zone it up on the other. There's just no figuring out Wink. Wink is he's ridiculous. And that's why he's been one of the most blitz heavy guys over the last 4 years, and why his defenses tend to generate turnovers or tend to generate, confusion for quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And one last thing, Sky, you talk to people at the start. I'll talk to people at the start. You know. Everybody, Pollard's fine. He's going to beast out this game. I do want to I like to stay humble, but I think this is the type of game where you're going to see some of they're going to start pulling out the starters and putting in like the 2nd and 3rd and 4th string. I'm just saying. I think this is the type of game that we're going to – I think we're going to have like 40 to like 14.
40?
I think Cooper Rush – I know, but I think Cooper Rush – Herbert's going to get 1 kickoff return, and he's going to get a big punt return that's going to put us in like the 2-3 down on the touchdown play. I think it'll be around 38 to 40 points, and they're going to have like about 14 to 17 points. That would be like they say, drive, run. They're going to be trying to catch up. You know what I'm saying? Get the little 17 points trying to catch up. I think that's what's going to happen. I like to stay humble, but I just don't see it. I think we're just too fast. We got good coverage. We got good rotation. And far as the Saquon run out to the side. Last year, maybe. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think they put a real lock on that. So, we'll see.
Man, I'm going to be wired messing with you. Yeah. It stopped the run, man. Saquon Barkley is the catalyst to that offense. You stop that, you shut that down. I hate to say easy. I don't want to use that term, but you'll have a greater chance to win this game.
Me either. I don't want to use that term. I'm just going to say it should be a good game.
Indeed, bro. Appreciate you, Dak. Not done yet.
Yes, sir.
Bro got me. I'm gonna be wired now. Y'all peep the game we was playing? hey, Dak, we was playing the drinking game. Every time you said, no, I'm saying I was drinking this coffee. I put a lot of sugar in that coffee. I'm finna be wired. Y'all want to go for another hour? We ain't doing that. Ain't doing that. I am wired. Oh, sheesh, I need some water. Let me take a quick break, man. This quick break. Bro, y'all been great. Y'all been great in this chat. And y'all know how I do about the fan focus when y'all great. There is no fan focus comment presented by Boston Scientific. The chat is the fan focus comment brought to you by Boston Scientific. Did you know diabetes, heart disease, and prostate cancer procedures can contribute to ED? Many men aren't aware of this or of all the treatment options that a board-certified urologist can offer. Understand your options and learn where you can find an ED specialist in your area. Visit edcure.org. Get the facts and find a urologist who can offer treatment options that work when pills do not. Again, that's edcure.org, sponsored by Boston Scientific. I can't stand y'all.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
Y'all crazy. Another hour. Y'all understand I have to do an actual game day live show later, right? Don't y'all want me to be straight for that? Oh, we have a celebrity in the building. She ain't gonna like this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X proudly brings to you Double I, Aisha Morrison of DallasCowboys.com. Ladies and gentlemen, clap it up for the DallasCowboys.com star, Aisha Morrison, in the building. She been killing it. She has been killing it. That show is a fantastic show. Shout out to Derek Eagleton for getting those wonderful ladies to come together and talk Cowboys. She ain't gonna like that. But I had to give you a shout out, Double I, Aisha. I'm supposed to change that pick, Trey. I just got to reach out to my guy. That's all. All right, we in OT. We'll take a few more chats and get up out of here. I know some. Whoa. Stay there, Tuck. Stay there, Tuck. Nah, we got to get Tuck up in here. When Tuck call in, we got to get Tuck up in here. So we're going to get Tuck to call in real quick. Hey, listen, clap it up for her, man. She's doing fantastic work over there. Fantastic work. So I usually would ask for score predictions later, so I ain't going to do that to y'all. Y'all can if you want, but we're going to do that later when we get the game day live. Yo, that was a bad idea. Playing that drinking game? I am wired, low-key. Come on, Tuck. Get up in here, good brother. There you go. Hey, by the way, let's drop some more fire emojis for another celebrity and Jay Tuck. I mean, he over there in Kansas up in the booth doing his thing. You know, he's definitely crushing it on Twitter. Nobody want to fool with him on Twitter. You want the smoke, Tuck will give you the smoke. What's up, bro? How you doing?
What's going on, bro? I ain't no superstar, man. I was trying to do like you and I used to when I grow up, man.
Nah, I'm just wired. I'm just messing with y'all. What's good, bro?
What's going on, man? Great show as usual, man. Hey, it's game day, man. Ain't no break.
It's game day.
You go for another 2 hours.
Hey.
2 hours, so you get ready for the live show.
You better cut the shit. I gotta get going, man. I gotta have some energy. I gotta have a voice for later. I'm gonna lose my voice during the game, and then I'm gonna have to still come on. You know how I get.
Facts, man. But I'm gonna ask you a quick question, man. So, Professor O said Boo J Tuck. But he just announced about Jason Peters, and I never got your take on this guy. what is your thoughts on Jason Peters moving forward? Is he our left tackle, or do we plug him into left guard? I think that's a conversation a lot of people are having in the chat. Me personally, I'm leaving Tyler Smith. I feel like he's going to be our future left tackle. Let him play well thus far. I don't want to disrupt that, but I feel like you got to get Peters on the field because Matt Farniok hasn't been good for that guard position.
Well, my opinion on it is no secret. I wanted Jason Peters to play left tackle, to move Tyler inside so we can get the best 5 out there. I think that's your best 5. However, I don't think that's what's going to happen. So part of me, and most of me actually, is coming around to that scenario, the scenario of leaving Tyler Smith out there. I don't believe in Matt Farniok being the guy. However, I think he has a better matchup this week. I say matchup, but you know, Dexter Lawrence he ain't soft. Dexter Lawrence is tough. But if they put then they're probably going to try to line him up on Farniok. So maybe he doesn't have a better matchup, but I think he'll play a little bit better. But he's the third guard, Tuck, right? So I don't really want him being that guy. When is McGovern coming back? That's a big deal because McGovern is better than Farniok. But I also think that Tyler Smith will be better than McGovern. But that's just me. So I'm coming around to the conclusion that they're going to keep him out there because he is their future left tackle, right? I don't know how I feel. You tell me, how do you feel about putting Peters at left guard? That just seems like it's just counterproductive to what he does well.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the hardest part about it because, like I said, you know, you got Tyler Smith who's played well this far at left tackle, and I feel like he's going to be the left tackle of the future. But when it comes to Peters, I don't want to disrupt it, but we got to fix the left guard position. So the best 5, I get what you're saying, is putting Peters at left tackle and sliding Tyler back into guard. But it's like, do you want to play musical chairs with this kid or just let him kind of cut his teeth? Because, you know, I'm probably the minority, y'all. I don't think that Tyron Smith will probably return anytime soon this season, and he might be done moving forward. So, you know, to really address the left tackle and have the future move, I think Tyler Smith gives you your best option. But, you know, I just feel like Matt Farniok, he has to be replaced some way, somehow. I'm not sure how long Connor McGovern's actually going to be out. So, I mean, you can put Peters in there, man. He's a big guy. Just let him in and wrestle at left guard and kind of work. You know, like that's where I'm seeing it. And it sounds like the Cowboys might be seeing it. But I want to kind of get your view on that, bro.
I'm with you. And so basically it's development versus best 5. You can make an argument for both sides. And that's one of the things I'm not against. I said this on Twitter when, who was it? Foots hit me up 2 weeks ago. I think after week 1. He was like, nah, man, I'm leaving Tyler out there. I said, hey, I'm not going to fight you about that. Right? Like if your thought process is let's leave him out there to continue to develop, as long as you understand there may be a soft spot next to him, that's fair. That's your plan moving forward. But I was kind of looking at it, and maybe that's me being greedy, wanting to. I'm trying to win, and if I'm trying to win, I'm trying to do the best things possible to win. And I think the best thing possible is to put that mauler of a guy in Tyler back inside. And I disagree just a little bit when people say that you know, this is going to hinder his development. I don't really think so because he's played tackle for, 3 or 4 years at Tulsa, and it's not like he's moving to the other side. He's just sliding down, and he's a smart cat.
Right.
If you listen to when he said, I got to go out to left tackle, he's like, I'm not really making much of a change. He said, nothing really changes from my technique standpoint in a way. It's just assignments, right? It's just to play or whatever, but he's a smart dude. I think he can take 2 games or 3 games and come back inside and fortify your line. And if you need him to go back out there, you can do it. It does sound like musical chairs, Tuck. It does. But if I'm going from left guard to left tackle, I feel like that's an easier transition than right tackle to left tackle playing musical chairs like they did with Steele.
Right. And I get that, like, especially with Tyler Smith. I feel like if he was to play left guard for the remainder of the season and you give him a full all season next year, prepare him at left tackle, it'd be perfectly fine. But it's kind of like, you know, what Steele went through in 2020, right? He kind of cut his teeth at the right tackle position. And that next year, you know, things kind of slowed down for him. He kind of progressed and turned into what he is today. So I feel like it can be the same thing for Tyler Smith. But like you said, man, it's all about winning now and today, bro. So it's like, I don't give a damn who you got to put out there. Yeah, just get to work. But I feel like you got to find a way for Jason Peters. And one last quick note, Scott. You know, focus on the game plan. I know you talked about Cooper Rush and some of the, you know, the Scott's coverages that they kind of toss with the Giants defense. But I feel like their weak point is their linebacker core and also their secondary for the most part. So are you comfortable with Kellen Moore, which I think he's going to do, put the ball in Cooper Rush's hands? Because I know a lot of people have been talking about the score,
The one thing that can definitely change the outcome of this game is those turnovers. And even though Cooper Rush kind of got lucky last game, he was within inches of that being pick sixes and interceptions to definitely flip that field position. So I want to get your thought process on the game plan for Kellen Moore tonight.
There's definitely Jimmy's and Joe's. I'm sorry, X's and O's rather than Jimmy's and Joe's with the Giants defense, and that's why I give so much credit to Wink. They don't have a lot of superstars over there. You could argue their two of their three best players or most talented players are now coming back. Now they lost Leonard Williams, but Aziz is really good, and Kayvon Thibodeau is a freak from a talent standpoint. And they get those guys back. But I think you have to remain balanced. You have to, unless Cooper Rush is in a ridiculous zone, then you let Cooper Rush cook. But I've seen him kind of get a little like, oh, all right, I got this against Cincy, and it was like, all right, Kellen, let's get back to running this ball because Cooper almost threw that game away.
Exactly, because I feel like he got out to a hard start, but what people aren't understanding when it comes to Cooper Rush, yes, he stepped up and played big Sunday, but that was the very first drive he came out the gate. Okay, boom, came out the first, and everything kind of stalemated besides the big play from TP after that. So it was just like, once things kind of stalemated for him, since he was sitting on it, I remember they tried to run that screenplay to CD, and I almost, threw up out there because I felt like it was a pick six to the house. So it's going to be interesting to see how they use Cooper Rush moving forward for a full game. Now you got 2 game films on him. What Kellen's thought process is, but it's like it looks like y'all. I know the caller called in and said about Zeke getting 20 carries. We'll probably never see that again, to be honest with you.
Yo, he hasn't got. I think it was like 25 carries in like 2 years or something crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But when you look historically, like when Zeke had his 100+ yard games, 20 carries has been his floor. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't think that it moving forward, you're just going to see that type of volume from Zeke. That's the problem.
I don't have an issue with Zeke not getting 25 as long as Tony's getting 10 to 12 to 13. Because just think about it, if Zeke is getting 17 and Tony's giving you 12, 13, that's 30 carries.
Right.
In a season, in a year where you got to lean on the ground. Now, with that said, I also think you have to feel out the vibe of the game. If Ezekiel Elliott, like week 1, is pounding the Tampa Bay Bucks, then keep giving him the rock, and that way when Tony Pollard only gets 7 carries, he'll bust one open because he softened up the defense or what have you. Or it may be vice versa. You may need Tony Pollard to be the guy that kind of opens it up, and then Zeke comes in and just have a feel. And one thing I have about a problem with Kellen is I just never ever sensed, even when the offense was at its peak, that he's consistently had a feel for a game aside from maybe the first 6 weeks of last year. And that's because they called it differently. I don't know why they switched it, but they called it differently, Tuck.
Right, yeah. When things are working, they go away for it. But, I'm kind of in the mindset, to be honest with you, a lot of us think that this is probably going to be Zeke's last year in Dallas. I'm getting every last carry out of that $90 million I paid him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to run Zeke into the ground until he proves otherwise he can't do it. But
ain't that funny?
We'll see what happens.
Ain't that funny how they pay him all that money and they don't?
Yeah, and they paid him all that money and cut his volume. People act like Zeke is stealing money. I'm like, he got granted money. I would love to be working 70 hours at my job. They give me a big pay raise and they cut me down to 40. I'm like, thank you.
Which I'm not. I'm not trying to check pockets. I just think it's funny, the philosophy. Hey, we're paying, because they do this to Dak Prescott. We're paying you so much money, so you have to now uplift everybody type of situation. But they did the same thing to the running back, and they said, oh, but wait, we're not going to put you in that situation. We don't want you to touch the ball.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right. Because I would like to be able to say, okay, we gave Zeke 20 carries this game, 25 the next game, and he still got 45. Then I can try to base my analysis off of what Zeke is going to be moving forward. But I haven't seen that type of volume game since he had 2 or 3 last year.
2018.
And he was able to get. Yeah. So it's just it's kind of hard to see, man. But I feel like for tonight's matchup, defense is going to have to step up and play big. I don't expect this offense to the 40 burgers that some people are saying. But as long as our defense can step up and Cooper Moore can still kind of drive the bus, I feel like the Cowboys can come out with the victory, man. So we'll see, man. But I'll let you go, man, because I know you got 2 more hours of this show to go.
Y'all really making this damn thing go an extra hour. All right, Tuck. Appreciate you, bro. Let them know they can find you, man.
Yeah, man. You can find me on CFO Sports. That's my channel. And then also JTuck151 I'm on all social media platforms, man, and we just talk Dallas Cowboys football, NFL draft, and all that fun stuff, man. So let's get ready for game day, Cowboys Nation. I'm trying to work today, but I can't do it. So I'm already in game mode. So let's get it tonight.
All right, bro. I'll get with you later, man.
All right, peace.
I'm locking these phone lines back up. Y'all slick, you know. You're slick. Set it off, Chris, and snuck up in here, and 410 and snuck up in here. What's good? Set it off, Chris.
Hey, man, I was just listening, man. I said, Jay Tuck get a little bit of love. I thought Aisha was going to get on, too, man. So I said, hey, man, I'm just trying to see if I can slide in real quick, man. Hey, I'm going to be brief. What you and Jay Tuck were talking about was amazing. But here's my question. Because we want to be more run-heavy, and I understand the issue with Peters, and you want to try to get you got so many problems. You got 2 or 3 problems that you're trying to handle.
Sure.
The number one problem is Fournier. Get him off the field. He is problem number 1. Get him off the field. But your other big issue is, as a fan base, we don't trust Kellen. So you don't trust Kellen.
That's what B said. He don't trust Kellen. You think that's why we'll lose?
Yeah. It's a lot of people running around. Hey, man, we're playing the Giants, and Wink's a great defensive coordinator, but we don't trust Kellen to do the right thing. So it would kind of make more sense to be more run heavy, and the better run package of offensive line would be your best 5 over development. The one part about development we didn't talk about, or we haven't, dived into really, is that off-season peanut butter development. And I think Tyler gets that this year coming up. His game reps are going to be fine. But we've said this before. He could probably be a Pro Bowl to All-Pro guard. My question for you, bro.
That's what Duke said. Yeah.
Is it easy? Huh?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's what Duke was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my question for you. Would it be easier to go in the draft next year and go find a left tackle and just leave him right there? That's all I got, man. I'm just trying to figure this thing out a little bit differently, because I know we don't want to get into draft world, but would it make more sense to go find a left tackle if you play the way you want to play, right? And you're picking from 15 to 25, which we expect to be, because we always expect to be relevant and always kind of like in the mix. If you're picking 15 to 25, is it easy to go get a left tackle and just leave him right there? Man, I'm going to get out the way, man. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, I was going to say, conventional wisdom, you would think that it's harder to find a tackle. So that's why people are saying keep Tyler out there if that's going to be his position, and it's easier to find a guard. You can get a guard in the 2nd round, in the 3rd round. You know what I'm saying? You can get a guard at any of those other rounds. But, the Cowboys put us in this position where, hey, man, let's see what happens. If they slide him inside, then maybe he's a guard for the future. If they keep him at left tackle, then they'll go into next year like, all right, we'll just draft a guard, which I personally think is more of the easier things to find than tackle. So, yeah. And I don't want to get too far down the road, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far down the road, man. I'm just, I hope it's a good game. I want it to be a good game tonight. I'm still remembering Cooper Rush is still a backup quarterback. Cooper tried to give the game away against Minnesota last year. It took miraculous catch by Amari twice. The one up the right side he caught. He wasn't supposed to catch that, and then the play in the end zone. So Cooper's got the tendency. He's not as bad as Daniel Jones, but the only reason we know how bad Daniel Jones is because he starts. Cooper has that tendency to want to give it away. He want to give it away. I know. I know. Yeah, and so you see the dilemma. Hey, we want Cooper to play well, but we really don't trust him. We definitely don't trust Kellen, but we don't want to run the ball 35 times. But we kind of need to be more run heavy. Dude, this is a conundrum. But at the end of the day, we just want to dub. And man, I'm looking at the Cowboys go. Yeah, I'm
about to say we just need to win. I mean, we got your backup to win.
Yeah, man. I like B said. Somebody said earlier. I think we get one in all 3 phases. I think Turpin is gonna bust. I think Turpin might get 2 tonight. I think Turpin might get 2.
Bro, if Turpin get 2.
Yeah, I know you lose.
I'm losing my goddamn.
You won't have no. Jesse be just doing the show by himself because you won't have no voice.
Jesse had to get me was it last week? I'm they stressed me. Week 1 wasn't stressed because the game was over. Week 2, I'm sitting here like I'm out here playing. Jesse was like, "Yo, it's 30 seconds left. You got you're right, man. Let me get ready."
Right.
Crazy,
yeah. It's dope, man. But listen, man, great show, man, as always, man. Yeah. Everybody check you out at Cowboys Live, man. And, hey, man, I got to hit you some stuff on the back end, man. We'll talk later, brother.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. And that will do it for our calls because I locked these damn lines up. Y'all would not keep me on here for an extra hour, but do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And share this thing on our way out. We done covered this game from top to bottom for a week and some change. It's time to get it done. Y'all will see me later. What you won't see, though, is Mauricio. A to Z Sports Primetime will not be on tonight, obviously, because the Cowboys are playing. But you'll get me, you'll get Jesse on pregame, halftime, and post. We'll be here. If you are in the Dallas area, we'll also be at Texas Live. Should be in the Revolver Room. They've been switching some things out. So we'll be around there later today. We done covered this thing from top to bottom. I'm ready. If we want to revisit, for those who weren't around at the top of the show, my 3 keys to victory, which again, it could be 10 of them, but avoid the trap, meaning don't eat the cheese from a organizational standpoint, player standpoint, but also Cooper Rush has to avoid the trap coverages that Wink Martindale will throw at him. If you missed that, just run this thing back. We broke it down. We hit the film room. Stop Saquon Barkley. Right? Stop Saquon Barkley. That's pretty much their offense right there, unless they decide to go with Kenny Galladay and the other kid, their dynamic guy, Kadarius Toney, which they haven't done. And if you can stop Saquon Barkley, you unleash Micah, and they don't want these problems. He's been one of the most, as in Daniel Jones, has been one of the most pressured quarterbacks in the NFL over the first 2 weeks. You have the best defensive player in the league. I don't care what he's playing with. Lining up out there. You've got Dan Quinn, one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, and he'll design some things against a porous offensive line. So avoid the trap, stop Barkley, and unleash Micah Parsons. Professor O says we need a midday show. Hey, holla at Zach. If you're interested, put something together. If they want me to do it, man, come up out that money, man. Better come up out that pockets, man. With that said, man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the chat. I appreciate the donations, the calls, all that good stuff. Y'all the best. I'll be back later. Holla at your boy. A to Z Sports Game Day Live. More like Game Night Live. Regardless, Monday Night Football. Skywalker Still. Jesse Holland. I'm ready. Cowboys need this. They need this.